Hey, Canucks fans, I hope you're well. I hope you're over the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup last night. I'm going to vlog about that tomorrow. But for today, I want to talk about defenseman Ethan Bear and the news confirmed basically by Rick Dollywall this morning, news that we had heard throughout the past week, that Bear will undergo shoulder surgery in the next few weeks that will basically keep him out of the Canucks lineup for the first 2 or 3 months of the season. Now, this is big for a number of reasons. Ethan Bear needs a new contract. It also leaves a big hole in the Canucks lineup. So I'll talk about both of those things in a second, but let's talk about how Bear got injured. It was the World Championships not earlier this month, in May, and then it was the quarterfinal game. So it was obviously a do or die game, and the Canucks, Team Canada handily defeated Finland, and Bear was there on the ice for the last shift. Well, someone's got to be out there, so I'm not blaming the coach for putting Bear out there. But Bear took a big hit in the corner as Finland was down. They knew they were going to lose, and I wouldn't say it was a cheap shot, but you know how guys, when you're about to lose and your tournament life is going to end, you kind of play a bit rough, or you don't worry about getting a penalty. So he took a big hit in the corner, and people weren't sure if it was his wrist or his arm or his elbow. And then while the rest of his team celebrated, he actually skated straight to the bench and then walked to the dressing room. So it turns out it's a shoulder injury that kept him out of the semifinal game and, of course, the gold medal winning game. So Ethan Bear then, he appeared, I think, in a couple of places publicly since then, looked okay, but didn't have anything wrapped up or anything. But yes, it is indeed a shoulder surgery that he is going to do. Now, I'd heard he had options. You can delay or kind of put it off and just try and rehab it. But then the risk of that is if you get re-injured, it's going to be even worse than it is right now. Or you elect for surgery, and of course it means a longer timetable for return. But the thought is the surgery will completely heal it, and then you have less worries of re-injuring it or making it worse down the road. So it sounds like that's what he's going to do, and I think overall that's the smart play. You got to think of your long-term health, your longevity, and your career and your quality of life, basically. So I don't think anyone would fault Ethan Bear for electing to do the surgery as opposed to not doing it. But then let's talk about the two issues I mentioned. Number one, his contract. Now, he is an RFA. He just came off a 1-year, $2.2 million contract. He and the Canucks and hopefully I presume they're looking at extending Ethan Bear. Now it's interesting. When Ethan Bear got traded to Carolina, he actually went through arbitration, and the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know if it got to arbitration. No, what it was, it didn't get to arbitration. But what the Hurricanes did, now I know, is they gave him a 1-year qualifying offer of $2.4 million, but it was a two-way contract. As I've explained many times on this channel, a two-way contract means you get paid two ways depending on where you're playing. So Ethan Bear, if he accepted that, would have made $2.4 million salary playing in the NHL, but significantly less if he was playing with the Carolina Hurricanes minor league affiliate. So Bear decided to reject that qualifying offer. It doesn't mean you leave the team. You can't do that, but it means you're free to negotiate your own terms. So in essence, Ethan Bear settled for a 1-year, one-way $2.2 million. So $200,000 less than the offer, but at least the guarantee that no matter where he was playing, NHL or the minors, he was going to get paid that 2.2. So once again, Carolina qualifying offer was 2.4 million, and then he rejected that qualifying offer and negotiated a 2.2 million, but a one-way contract. So I bring that up because he's in a similar situation. He could be in a similar situation with the Vancouver Canucks. They haven't done their qualifying offer yet, but if they do qualify Ethan Bear, it'll be at that $2.2 million offer. 2.2. Now, prior to this injury, I think people were saying, he's going to be at least 2.5 or $3 million. And I don't disagree with that. But now with the injury, it's funny how the leverage changes. Now, Ethan Bear hardly has any leverage because he's not going to be available to the team until December or January. So whereas he might have been angling for a raise over the 2.2 that he made this year, now he might simply, the wise move might be to accept that qualifying offer for 2.2, prove his worth once he returns to the lineup, and then line up for a bigger contract when that one ends. And I should have looked it up. I'm not sure that. I think he'll be actually a UFA by that time because he did his 3-year entry level, did 2 years in Edmonton, did 1 year in Carolina. So yeah, this is his 7th year. So after this contract, he'll be in line for a big UFA contract. So maybe that's the way, or bigger UFA contract. So maybe that's the play for Ethan Bear right now, is to accept the qualifying offer, and then to basically play his way to a bigger contract. So he's got to kind of take the long game here, and look through it with a longer view. Now, he got traded to the Vancouver Canucks at the end of October with Lane Peterson just for a draft pick. So a really good pick, a really good trade for the Canucks. And in 61 games, he had 16 points. So 3 goals, 13 assists in 61 games. So 16 points in 61. Basically playing second pair minutes, sometimes third pair, sometimes elevate to the top pair, but not a lot of that. And with Ethan Bear, he's not the biggest guy. He's not even the fastest guy. It's funny. He does everything well, but he doesn't do anything amazing. So he's not a hard hitter. He doesn't have a booming slap shot. He's not the best skater. He's not the best passer. He doesn't have amazing hockey vision, but he does things generally well, where he can get the puck out of the zone, get the puck into the offensive zone, maintain possession, and 16 points in 61 games. That's not bad. You extrapolate that over 82 games, and you're probably looking at a 20-point season for Ethan Bear. So I think a $2.2 million qualifying offer from the Canucks makes sense, and I think it would make sense for him to accept it. The second part is the hole this leaves in the Canucks lineup, because I know they got to work their salary cap, and that's something we're gonna talk about a lot over the next month or so. But were they slotted in for Philip Hronek, Tyler Myers, and Ethan Bear on the right side, or do you say that's a bit of an expensive right side for not a lot of good quality play aside for Hronek? So are you looking to trade Tyler Myers in September once that bonus is paid out, where you're not going to sign Ethan Bear? And what about guys, that other candidates? Is it Jet Wu? Is it Cole McCord? Is it Philip Johansson? Is it any of those guys? Or now do you look at bringing back a Kyle Burrows or a Noah Juleson, guys who apparently there haven't been a lot of talks with this summer, but maybe those become more urgent now that Bear is out for the summer. Yeah, I'm sorry, out for until late fall. If it were me, um, can you risk going to training camp without a proven third guy behind Hronek and Myers? Do you hope that Jet Wu? Do you hope that Johansson and McCord can step up? I would sign one of Burrows or Juleson. I really would, depending on what kind of other options they have. I would sign Burrows or Burrows or Juleson, and have McCord, Wu, and Johansson kind of fight for a spot with them. And then I don't think that's. I think there are worse options, because the Canucks simply don't have a lot of money to go out and spend, and then you kind of hold that place for Ethan Bear until he comes back, and that's again presuming that he doesn't indeed sign with the team. So a lot of things out there. I would love your thoughts, Canucks fans. What do you think the Canucks should do now? Actually, 2 things. What do you think the Canucks should do in terms of contract with Ethan Bear, given this shoulder surgery news? How do you think they're going to fill the hole on that right side? And your answer might be, well, I don't think they were going to even sign Ethan Bear anyway, so it might not even change your answer. Like your answer to 2 isn't predicated on your answer to number 1. I hope that makes sense.